questions.
Yes.
This
What do you
uses
notice?
pieces from this paper.
Here, just move it.
Why so
Ready?
serious?
What do you notice? What do you want
Okay, so we're doing the poem, a song at the end of the world. What do you notice?
I notice how how there's a central theme in the poem about how it's going on about the end of the world's happening, but everything that's described in the poem, like a fisherman mending a glimmering net, a snake as golden as it should be, and women walking down the field under their umbrellas, like how do you usually see it? And he's saying that is what's going on at the end of the world, not like lightning and thunder, or say like signs saying, "Hey, this is going to happen," or even Gabriel blowing his trumpet. But I think he's just saying it's just how normal stuff will go. And he also mentions how there's like a white-haired old man, and we usually consider old men like sort of like paragons of knowledge and stuff. But he says, who would be a prophet yet is not a prophet, for he is much too busy, and he's sown doing a mundane task, binding his tomatoes. And then it says at the end, no other end of the world will there be, like showing that, hey, the world has just practically ended now. I think that adds in with Lord Flies because in the book. Yes, I'm talking too much. Do someone else. Do someone else.
I'll go. Yeah.
Okay, Maki, go.
Okay, so what you're saying is, in the poem, everyone is doing like normal tasks and how they would like go about their day like normally, but they don't realize that it's going to be the end of the world. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else notice anything? Okay, so then what do we want to know about the poem?
I want to know why people are like resuming with their like daily activities. You know, if the world was ending, wouldn't you like say if they had a religion or something to pray for, like would they not be like thinking about, you know, their sins and trying to like get that over with? Or, you know, people not even like if they don't have religion, but like, you know, staying with their families for the last moments, you know, like what's the point of like mending a fishnet if you're gonna die, right? It's like
that problem was addressed in the poem because it says how there's no unexpected lightning or thunder, and that there's no expected signs like how do you expect in religion. And the main point for most Abrahamic religions, Gabriel's not blowing his trumpet, which symbols the end of the world. So there's no real religious or scientific like showing for the end of the world. Okay. So they really just like they probably just don't even know that what's happening.
Hold on. You know, you kind of talk too much. You kind of explained what I was gonna say, so screw it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I wanted to say something and then like immediately he started to talk.
Okay, guys.
I definitely want to say how they're like the kids.
No, don't press it.
Should we start over?
No.
No. Okay, so let's
Why not?
Okay,
I
let's
was
start
only
over.
having a chance to
time to
talk.
start
No,
over.
we do it
You always have time.
No, we can just put it down. He's gonna skip it through. It's okay.
Okay, we're gonna let him talk less. Everyone's gonna talk.
Yes,
Like,
everyone has to talk. I'm doing everything.
You finished your quota. You can't talk
Yeah, but
anymore
he's,
during
like,
this whole
talking
thing.
Just go to one point.
Yeah, I'm practically talking about everything.
Did you swear?
He said everything that I could possibly
Not
say.
that I
Okay.
remember.
Guys, the next question.
How does the
How
text
does the
answer?
text answer or explain my question?
Well, I don't have any question anymore.
I forgot what it is.
She already asked the question, right? She was asking.
Yeah,
she was talking about
I-
religion.
Okay.
Yeah, but we already answered that question.
We also
That's the text.
he pretty much explained this whole thing. Like, how does that answer the question which she asked? So then, like, he explained that.
Okay, summarize it.
Summarize.
Because he was talking a lot. He was rambling.
Anyways,
A lot.
he already explained how does the text answer explain my question by saying that there's no obvious signs that there was gonna, at least I think he said, that there was no obvious signs that there was gonna be the end of the world. And the only person who knew was also stuck doing a mundane task.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question. Where else do I see examples of people behaving or reacting for the same reason? So, How does this relate to Lord of the Flies?
He just answered that.
Well, you didn't really answer that.
No, we cut it off.
No evidence at all, so you can answer it.
Okay. Let me think. Yeah, he pretty much explained it, yeah. I don't know.
You know, this kind of reminds me of, cults. When people are like a part of cults, the prophets, they make his followers believe that the world's about to end when there isn't really any evidence of the world ending. Like the people around them, like say if they're a part of their own cult, but like say they're in America or something, like the rest of America is still going on with their daily lives and routine like work such as like job and school and stuff, but there's like say a group of like 1,000 or 2,000 people that believe that the world's about to end. Like this kind of reminds me of this text because these people, the world may be ending, but as long as like they don't believe that the world is ending, whereas like people in cults and stuff, there is no evidence behind it, no scientific evidence. They just go on by the words of what their prophet says, which is probably like zero to little evidence, just besides the fact that he is like a sociopath who's good at manipulating the people. Well, okay.
So you're saying that this is relating to the book because the cults are this is relating to the book because of the cults that are always saying that the world will end even though it never does?
No. I'm saying it's relating to the book because similarly in the book, there's no one telling them the world's gonna end. They don't even know that the world's about to end, right? And they don't, even though they're stranded on an island and there's little chance of them even leaving the island, they still have that hope that the world will go on for them, they'll escape the island. Whereas people that live in cults, that are part of cults, they believe that the world's about to end when they don't even have any evidence behind the world about to end. I feel like it really depends on who's leading you, and your perspective on the whole situation changes.
Oh.
So it's Ralph is leading them, and Ralph is more of a positive person. He brings
Okay, so I can also relate to that in the book in I think chapter 2 or 3, when Ralph is working on the huts, and then he says, "They're hopeless. The older ones aren't much better. You see, all day I've been working with Simon. No one else. They're off bathing or eating or playing." They have a task where they have to build the shelters, but at the end they're just playing or eating. They don't realize the reality of what they're actually in. They're stranded on an island and they have no shelter, and they don't have really there's fruit, but technically they don't really know how to really cook or have any survival skills. So they can't they're not facing reality, and they're just playing around. That's what you're trying to say, right? Sort of that.
Yeah. And it says again in the text the similar thing on page 118, chapter 6. Here it says, let's have a fort. So they're talking about having a fort when there is so many other things to be done, and Ralph is being the only rational one here. He's saying that there's no food here and no shelter, not much fresh water. But then again, the people say this would make a wizard fort. We can roll rocks. It's totally not something that is appropriate for the time and the place.
Okay.
So people are not listening to Ralph even though he's being completely rational?
I mean,
Is that what you...
Yeah, but relating back to the poem, it's saying even though there's no signs of the end of the world, but the end of the world is coming, people that can't I guess are not gripping reality and holy crap, the world's going to end. And then here it's the reality is they're on the stranded, they're on the island by themselves with no adults and no way to really escape right now because they're not doing anything rational. So they're not facing reality. So, yeah.
I think that the little ones and stuff, they're not really gripping to the whole reality of what's going on because they believe that the older kids, such as Ralph and Jack, will fix the situation for them. When that's not the case, that Ralph and them, they can't make shelters, they can't provide them food on their own. There's only so many people that can help them, right? So that's why I think that the little ones are, even though they're young kids, and we can't like put much responsibility on them, right? But they still need someone to guide them and nurture them into like doing their parts to help their group.
So basically, they're kind of taking the older kids in for, like, say, their parents.
Yeah, even though that there's no adults and they enjoy the freedom of having no adults, they still look up to the older kids as adults.
Okay, anyone else want to say anything?
I definitely can.
Can I just ask what part are we on this now? Are we still on this part?
Yeah. Okay, you want to go to the next one?
Wait.
Okay.
Why do people behave that way?
Why do people behave that way?
Anyone?
They kind of taught like that sometimes. So there are a lot of people that are actually taught that way. Like, there's like people whose parents are always like, there's people who always use things as an excuse. So like their parents, like, in Dire the Wimpy Kid, for example, there's like the older guy, I forgot what his name was, always got his dad. Sorry, Bobby. No. So his dad always finished his thing, and his example in the movie is like he needed to finish a history assignment, and then his dad was like watching him until he wrote it all down. Like, what does the space bar do again? And it's like dad, like, oh, just give me that, and does it for him.
So you're saying that they're just taking advantage of the older kids, right?
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the older kids because they know that they at least they learned that they will finish everything for them.
That if they pretend, or even if they act like they don't know it, or if they find it difficult, they can just place the responsibility on the older kids who will get it done.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
However, I think it's another factor that may influence like why people are behaving like this is maybe because they're acting like out of denial or fear. Like in the book, it's earlier described how when the little children sleep, how they have like nightmares, and they some of them call out to their parents. I think that's more so them like trying to like trying to throw away the negative like parts of their mind by just like playing around stuff. I honestly think that it's possible that they may or may not think that they should like help out and stuff. I think that a lot of their motivation for like even like following like Ralph or doing anything that he tells them, I think it's more so acting out of fear that like once they lose like practically all authority, that they won't be able, there'll even be even less a chance of going home and getting what they want.
Here, hold on. Let's kind of summarize it a little bit because I'm feeling kind of lost. Okay, so we're talking about naivety, right? Let's make a question up. So let's say the question is: are the kids in the book
Naive?
Yeah, in the book naive? Yeah. So that we can all agree that that's the question. That's the main question, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so so they are okay. Why are they naive? Or would you say that they're naive or not?
They are
I would
naive.
say they are.
Okay, they are, okay. So let's go on to the second question, which is why do you think that they are naive?
From what I said, I think it's out of fear for not wanting to accept that they're away
truth.
from their parents and stuff. Yeah.
No, I don't agree. It's mostly because they don't have the parents and stuff, and they don't have the right leader. You know, because they're spreading out. They're not. There's one like they have a hunting. They have a hunting group, right?
Yeah, hunting group and yeah.
Yeah, and there's another group. So I think it's mostly because the leader. They're depending on the leader. Like she said, yeah, like she said.
Too dependent.
Yeah.
I think that also kind of ties into what the poem says, that only a white-haired old man who would be a prophet, like someone you'd rely on in like a case like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like how he's not really doing his duty, and like how the leaders like Ralph in the book, like he's not really applying enough pressure on them, and also Piggy. like he's quite intelligent for his age and probably one of the more smarter kids in the group, but he's not like projecting his thoughts or his concerns loud enough to be heard by everyone. So it's kind of like taken away.